Good morning, everybody. I wanted to come to you guys this morning just to say thank you. Thank you for all those people who revealed some very painful truths about growing up as a victim of child molestation. As you know, I put out a video yesterday about Hosea Chanchez, who revealed that he was molested by a friend's father at the age of 14. And he named his name. And I'm not going to hide his name either. His name is Isaac Sanders. And Isaac Sanders, as I started to look into this, has been actually accused several times of doing this very thing to people. This man was he was a professor, and he also worked at several colleges and universities during his career. And he was actually on trial in October of 2014 and being accused of doing this very same thing. He was alleged to have assaulted young students and would pay them off for their silence. So this is not this man's first time. And hopefully he's done, though. Hopefully this is it. Hopefully he will be held accountable for all the lives that he has destroyed along the way. But I wanted to focus more on you guys, those commenters, those brave commenters that opened up and reveal how when they were younger, they were also victims of child molestation. You guys heard my story. I shared it that between the ages of like 7 to 11, my uncle, my very own uncle, my father's brother, who was the favorite uncle, is always the favorite uncle. He was the favorite uncle of the family. He could do no wrong. He did a hell of a lot of wrong because he used to molest me all the time. My parents paid him to watch me, and he would molest me. Eventually he would marry and he would move out of the house. He died when I was 12, and I couldn't have been more happy. Didn't feel one sad piece of sadness for that. My parents didn't know. I told my parents when I was about 24 years old, where I just had this outburst. But what I didn't realize at the time is how much it had damaged me, how damaged I was as a result of that, and how I never really had a successful relationship in my life up until maybe the last 5 years or so, because I was a mess. And my story, Hosea's story, is not that uncommon. We have so many people that are victims of this very thing. It may not have been your uncle. It could have been your neighbor. I read every last comment, by the way. I had people, it was their aunt. It was their cousin. It was coaches that were getting too close and that was touching inappropriately. It's so scary to me. You just fear for your child's safety. You just can't trust your kid with anybody. And I also read, I was online this morning and reading some of the comments under one of his posts and seeing how so many men had been molested. So many boys. This is not that uncommon for young men. And that's so sad because these men have been walking around for years. We don't even know the number of men that are walking around and have been walking around for years carrying this burden and how it may have affected their lives, whether it is through just pent up anger, not being able to reveal that so it comes out in different ways. It is just devastating to the Black community. And yet I know many in our community are not ready to have this conversation. And the reason why I know many people aren't ready to have this conversation is because people still make a big joke about being, prison rape. There's nothing funny about prison rape. That is violation. That is a violation. There is nothing funny about a young boy going into jail and being afraid of someone taking him because he's there. Because. And people still make jokes of that and make light of that, and that's not funny. So that just lets me know that a lot of people are not ready to have this conversation. But I'm glad that you guys were. I'm glad that you were open and brave enough to reveal some very unpleasant truths about what happened to you. And hopefully other people read your stories. You guys were so revealing. I can't thank you enough. Hopefully it'll save somebody. Maybe it'll help them open up and reveal what happened to them in due time. You know, I'm one of those people who was told, why did you wait until you were 24? Why didn't you say anything to your parents when you were 7 or 8? Well, because like a lot of pedophiles do, they threaten you. They make you feel like it's your fault. They make you feel that you'll lose everything if you don't say anything. I was one of those that was told, if you tell your mama, she gonna kill me. Or if you tell your daddy, he gonna go to jail, you ain't gonna have no parents. That's what I was told. As a 7-year-old, you asking me to make a decision like that, to lose both parents, or just deal with it. Deal with being touched. Deal with being molested. Not even understanding what those feelings are. You're too young. You're like, I'm not supposed to feel this. This is not weird. This is weird. This is so weird to me. And I don't know what I'm feeling right now. And it's just, you can't tell people when to speak up. I know in a perfect world, we would want our kids to say something. I have taught my kids, if anything, because, I have a daughter who is involved in sports. I'm always at the, every practice, at every training, but I know that I can't always be there for every single thing. I'm always let my kids know. I'm very, very explicit about when they were little, about telling them about their body parts so that they can explain to me if anything was to happen, where people touch. I want to know. That's why I'm very explicit about how I teach them what their body parts are, the names, the proper names. I want to know. And that's how I've taught them. I'm really, really careful because I was a child of molestation. I didn't leave them with anybody, no, you're not sitting on anybody's lap. No, we didn't do that, but I'm hoping that your truths, your stories will resonate with other people. Just like I see that there's going to be a reverberation of Hosea's story. There's already causing ripples. This man who is now, I believe, probably in his early 70s. It's never too late. You know what? He can still get it. He can still be held accountable. As I've said, he was a professor. He was a college administrator down in Alabama. He has been through some of these allegations and some of these charges. And but that don't mean that he can't be held accountable for molesting Hosea either. All right. It's never too late. I'm sorry. It's never too late. But I am glad that a Black man felt free enough or felt ready enough to say something. And I know that's not an easy thing to do. So all I just want to do is say thank you, guys. Thank you for sharing your stories. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Thank you again.